Next type of ma, as you can see on the screen, is ma masdariya. Now, what is ma masdariya? Inshallah, after this lesson of the types of ma, we are going to have a complete lesson on this topic, masdar al-mu'awwal. Inshallah, when I will discuss at this topic, then it will be very clear to you. For now, let me give you a very brief introduction of ma masdariya. Okay, so ma masdariya is very closely related with ma of Mawsula. How is so? Look at this one. You know, as in the case of ma of Mawsula, what do you have? You have ma as ism Mawsul, and then you have a complete sentence, and that ma of ism Mawsul and that sentence together, they become like one thing, like one ism, and then they play any of the roles from these roles, right? Let me tell you, same is the case with ma masdariya. In the case of ma masdariya, you will have this, as in this case, for example, وَأَعْيُنُهُمْ تَفِيدُ مِنَ الدَّمْءِ حَزَنًا أَلَّا يَجِدُوا مَا يُنْفِقُونَ. And أَعْيُنُهُمْ, and their eyes, تَفِيدُ مِنَ الدَّمْءِ, they are shedding tears, okay, حَزَنًا, out of grief. Why? أَلَّا يَجِدُوا مَا يُنْفِقُونَ, that they do not find what they can spend in the path of Allah. This ayah is about those true believers who are poor. They do not have much to spend in the path of Allah. So they were shedding tears out of this grief that we can't spend in the path of Allah. This is the context of ayah. Now, what I'm saying is this ma is called ma masdariya. And after this ma, you have this complete jumla failiya, yunfikuna, because yunfikuna is fail mudare. It has a built-in file, which is hum. So fail and file together is a complete sentence. So this ma masdariya and this next complete sentence of jumla failiya, they together, they will play the role of like one word. In the same way as ma mawsula plays, as in the case of ma mawsula, ma ism mawsul and its sila together become one thing, and then they play one role. It can be the role of fa'il, maf'ul, or anyone which we have seen before. Same is the case with ma masdariya. You will, in the case of ma in a nutshell, in the case of ma masdariya, you will have a ma, and then you will have a verbal sentence, a jumla failiya, and together they will become like one whole, one thing, okay? And that one thing will play any of those roles which any ism can play. Now, at this point, you may be thinking, then how would you distinguish between ma of Mawsula and ma of Masdariya? Now, like I said before, inshallah, very soon, we are going to have a complete session on al-Masdar al-Mu'awwal. Then, inshallah, all of these questions will be answered. For now, just remember this much, okay? So, next one, Mah Sharatiyah. You know, in conditional sentences, what do you have? You have a harf shart, and then shart or condition, and then jawabu shart, right? Now, there are few words which start your conditional sentence, right? And we have learned all of those words. For example, iza, or man, or in, or law, and so on, okay? Ma is also one of those words which starts a conditional sentence. And very simple way of identifying this Mah Sharatiyah is that after this Ma, you will have Fi'l Mudare Majzoom, both in the shart part and in the Jawabu shart part. Look at this one. Wama taf'alu. It was actually taf'aluna, but because of this ma, it has become taf'alu. Ma taf'alu min khairin. Whatever you will do from khair. Ya'lamhullah. Ya'lamhullah is the jawabu shart. So ma is harf shart. Taf'alu min khairin is the shart part. Ya'lamhullah is the jawabu shart part. Look at this one. It was ya'lamu, but ya'lamu has become ya'lam. Majzoom. Why? Because of this ma. So this is called Mah Sharatiyah, that it appears, it starts a conditional sentence and it makes both shart and jawabu shart as majzoom. Clear? Now, this is called, look at one more example. Ma nansakh min ayatin aw nunsiha. Ma nansakh. We do not abrogate min ayatin, any ayah, aw nunsiha, or we make it forget to you, O Prophet Sallallahu Na'ti bi khairin minha, but we bring better than it, or misliha, or like it. It is about, when Allah abrogates an ayah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that we either bring a similar or better than that. Okay, so basically ma is shart, nansakh min ayatin aw nunsiha. This is the shart part. Na'ti bi khairin minha aw misliha is the jawabu shart part. Okay, وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. This ma is shart. تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Ma, whatever. تُنْفِقُوا, you spend. مِنْ شَيْءٍ, from anything. فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, in the path of Allah. What will happen? يُوَفَّى إِلَيْكُمْ, it will be given to you in full. وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تُظْلَمُونَ, and you will not be wronged. So ma is the shart part. تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Ma is the harf shart. تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Shart part. يُوَفَّى إِلَيْكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تُظْلَمُونَ is the jawabu shart part. Clear? So this was Mah Sharatiyah, which starts a conditional sentence, and very simple way of identifying is that after this ma, you will find fail mudare majzoom. Okay, next. Ma al-kafa. We have already studied this ma. Al-kafa. Kafa means to prevent something. Now, as we all know that when we have inna family, either inna or anna, any word from the inna family, when any word from inna family comes, it makes the next ism. When any word from the inna family comes, it makes the next ism, which we call ism of inna, into mansoob, right? But if you want to stop this to happen, you don't want that the ism after inna should go into nasab. What you can do, you can use an extra ma with inna. So for example, look at this one. Ana basharun, I am a human being. If you use inna, it will become inni basharun. You see, ana has become ni, because inni mean inna plus ni. So what happened is that ana has become ni. Why? Because of this inna. But if you want to stop this and you want to use ana as ana, but you still want to use inna as well, what would you do? With inna, you add an extra ma. Inna ma ana basharun. I am not but a human being, or simply I am only a human being. You see, when you use inna and ma together, now ana remain ana, right? Look at two more examples. If I simply say innamal a'mala binniyat, actions are with their intention. But you see, because of inna, al-amala, ism has gone into nasab. If you don't want this to happen, look at this, use the ma. Inna ma al-amalu binniyat. What happened is, amalu remain amalu, even though you have used inna as well. Why? Because of this ma. Innal muslimina ikhwatun. You see, because of inna, muslimina, it is in nasab status, right? Now, let's use ma. Inna ma al-muslimuna ikhwatun. You see, al-muslimuna, rafa, remain rafa. Even you use inna, but it does not become nasab. Why? Because of this ma. Okay. In the books of grammar, this inna ma together is called kafatan wa makfufatan. Why? Look at this one. This ma is kafa, ma of prevention, and makufatan. What is makufatan? Why? This inna has been stopped. Now inna cannot do its job. What is the job of inna? It makes next ism nasab. Now inna cannot do that job. So inna has become makfufatan, mean stopped. STOPPED, stop. The one which has been stopped. Stopper. Stopper is ma. Preventer is ma. And the one which has been prevented is inna. So that's why inna ma together we call kafatan, stopper or preventer. Wa makfufatan and prevented. So why? Because inna has been prevented through this ma. Ma is preventer. So inna ma in the books of grammar together called kafatan wa makfufatan. Okay. Now, next one is ma ta'ajjabiyya. Ta'ajjub mean when you are surprised at something. You know, when something is amazing you. Okay. Now, look at this one. This ma is very simple to identify. For example, ma ajmala. You see, ajmala. This typical hamza with fatha in the start. Ma ajmala an-nujum. What a beautiful stars. You see, you did not translate ma. Okay, this ma is just for amaze. Ajmalat najum, beautiful stars. Okay, kutilal insanu ma akfarahu. Okay, you see, akfara, ajmala, asbara, fama asbarahum alan nar. You see, after ma, asbara. Just remember this pattern. Ajmala, akfara. Okay, asbara. So this typical pattern after ma, this will tell you that this ma is for ta'ajjub. It's called ma ta'ajjabiyya, ma of amazement. Okay, kutilal insanu, destroyed is human being. Ma akfarahu, look what kufr he is doing. Fama asbarahum alan nar, about the disbelievers. Look how patient they are about the fire, which means that they have just, they have just taken this fire very lightly, fire of Jahannam. So simply after ma, if you have this pattern, ajmala, akfara, asbara, this is the pattern which comes for ta'ajjub, we call ma ta'ajjabiyya. And then ma of Ibrahamiya or ma is called ma Ibrahamiya or ma nakira mausufa. Okay, how so? Look at this one. It adds to ambiguity. It adds to something is already ambiguous and it makes it more ambiguous. One simple example, if I say to someone, atini, ati, you give, ni, to me, kitaban, a book. Atini kitaban, give me a book. Now, if I say to someone, give me a book, did I specify which book? No. So it is ambiguous. But if after this I add another ma, atini kitaban ma, now I'm saying, give me any book. So when I said atini kitaban, it was already ambiguous. But if you add ma, it becomes even more ambiguous. This is called ma of Ibham. And why ma of nakira mausufa? Why? Look at this one. Because this ma is coming as the sifa. For who? For this kitaban. And it is making it nakira, any book. Right? Look at one Quranic example. Inna Allah, indeed Allah, la yastahi, does not shy away, an yadriba, that he gives masalan, an example. Allah does not shy from giving an example. But look, after example, added ma. It is ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah. Okay? Inna Allah la yastahi an yadriba ma masalam ma ba'udatan fama fawkaha. Okay? Now, masalan, this masalan, Allah does not shy away from giving any example. This ma has, when simply said, Allah does not shy away from giving an example. An example was still ambiguous. It could have been an example. But if you add extra ma, it has become more ambiguous. Allah does not shy away from giving or making any, I'm making an example of any. I just put this thing in the bracket, but example of any. You see? So this is called Ma of Ibraham. And this Ma comes as the sifa for this previous word. Okay? For example, if you say to someone that Atini, give me shay'an, something. Okay? But if you say Atini shay'an ma, give me anything. So what did you do? Shay'an nakira. Shay'an nakira. Okay, it was common. But when you added ma, it became more ambiguous. This is called Ma of Ibraham. Okay. And last one, I think, is Masaida. Now, if you find a ma in a sentence, and this ma is not making any negation, it is not making any interrogation, it is not behaving as a ism mausul or masdariya, because these are the four main things. If it's neither negating nor making a questioning sentence, which is interrogation, nor is it ism mausul, and one more important and last point, even if you remove this ma, it does not impact the meaning. This ma is called Masaida. Example, look at this one. Fabima rahmatim minallahi lintalahum. Fa, so, bima rahmatim minallahi. Let's suppose this ma is not here, okay? Bi rahmatim minallahi, with the rahmah of Allah, lintalahum, you are lenient for the companion. O Prophet, it is with the rahmah of Allah that you are lenient, you are easygoing on the companion. So you see, if you don't use this ma, it has still conveyed the meaning. But you still use this ma, now it has make the sentence emphatic. Okay? Fabima rahmatim minallahi lintalahum. It is only with the rahmah of Allah that you are easygoing on the companions. You see? So, mimma khati'atihim ughriku. So, let's suppose this ma was not here. Okay? Min khati'atihim, because of their khati'at, their sins, ughriku, they are drowned. Okay? Allah has punished the people because of their sin. But mimma khati'atim, it is only because of their sins, ughriku, they are drowned. Allah did not do any injustice. So you see, ma huwa biqawli shair, qalilan ma tu'minun. If this ma was not here, you simply say, sorry, this ma is ma of negation. This ma is ma of zaida. So wama huwa biqawli shair, this is not the qawl, it is not the statement of a shair. Qalilam tu'minun, little you believe. Qalilam ma tu'minun, little you believe. It is still no change in the meaning. So this ma before tu'minuna is simply ma zaida. And then there are other two examples as well, which inshallah you can. And by the way, this is the surah number and this is the verse number. Okay, in case if you want to see the translation. And this last note is very important, that when ma is used after iza, it is considered ma zaida. Look at this one. Iza, and then you have this ma. So whenever you see that after iza there is a ma, this ma is considered as ma zaida. Clear? So in simple terms, ma zaida is a ma. Even if you remove that, it does not change the meaning, number one. And number two, you see that there's a ma in the sentence and it's neither negating nor interrogation, nor is a mausul or masdariya, then you will say this ma is zaida. And this last, inshallah, 10th form is ma zamaniya. Zaman mean time. Zarafiyah, sometimes it's called ma zarafiyah, sometimes called ma muddatun, because muddatun mean tenure, time. Okay, and we translate this ma as long as. Okay, and most simple example to comprehend this type of ma is, look at this one. Kuntu alayhim, I was upon them, shahidan, witness ma dumtu fihim, as long as I was fihim, in them. Isa alayhi salam is telling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Allah will ask him on the day of judgment, that, O Isa, did you ask people that they should worship you as their Lord, as their God? He will reply that, no, Allah, I did not do this. And I was only a witness against them or upon them as long as I was with them. Once you have taken me in heaven, after that, what they have been doing, I don't know. Basically, he distanced himself from the shirk of Christians. Okay, so look at this one. This ma dumtu. Many a time you'll see this ma used as with dama or dumtu or this kind of word. Okay, so this is called ma zarafiyah. Why? Because this ma basically specifies a tenure, a time period, and it's called ma zamaniya, zarafiyah, or ma muddatun. Clear? So these were the types of ma. Inshallah, we will, like I said, inshallah, in our next lesson, we will study about masdar in detail. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.